Hey, welcome to the November edition of the How to Podcast series. What are we doing this month? We're doing an episode every single day for the month of November. Yeah, that's a lot of podcast episodes, Dave. And what I want to do is I want to shine a light on amazing podcasters who are doing great things in podcasting. I want you to meet some of my friends. Now, these are friends that I've met through this podcast. These are friends that I've met by being on their show. These are friends that have been at our meetups. These are friends who I cherish and I think are people that you need to know. The best way to grow podcasting is word of mouth marketing, telling people about people's shows. That's what this is all about for the month of November. It's all word of mouth. You're going to hear from them come on and talk about their podcast. You're going to hear clips from shows. You'll have links to go follow these amazing people. And I want to give you a variety of different amazing podcasters for you to fall in love with. And you found the right spot. This is November. It's all about the listeners. It's all about you. And I want to shine a light on some amazing people. Are you ready? Okay. Let's jump into this because I think you're going to love this. And I'm glad you're here. And what I can't wait for is the day when you and I get to interact. I can't wait for us to meet each other at our meetups, online, through the link in the notes attached to this episode, where you and I can meet each other and I can be there in your corner to support you. I would love to do that. So here's another example of one of my friends at their show, and I want you to fall in love with them just as much as I have. Okay? Welcome to the How to Podcast series. It's November. It's National Podcast Post Month. It's 30 episodes in 30 days, and I want you to meet some of my favorite people in this world called podcasting. It's all about them. It's not about me. Welcome to the show. Thanks for being here. Check out one of my friends. You ready? You ready? Okay, here we go. Okay, so I listen to a lot of podcasts about podcasting, and some I love, some I'd avoid. But one I do love is Kristin Chadwick's podcast, the podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. And what I love about what Kristin does is she knows her audience. She knows her audience. And she can reach people that I can't reach, which is amazing and what I love. And Kristin's great. She brings a lot of great insight around podcasting. If you're tired of my voice, which I hope you never do get tired of my voice, Kristin is a great podcast about podcasting that I would highly recommend. And one thing I want to point out is Kristin serves her audience. The topics she covers on her show are easy to put in place. She's building community around her podcast. She's doing everything right in the podcasting space. She's a great example for somebody who's stepping into maybe a little bit of a crowded space with podcasts about podcasting, but she's found a unique way of doing it, which is her special sauce and her unique take on podcasting. And I think it's a great compliment to the conversations we have here on the How to Podcast series. She's doing her thing and doing it so well. So I want to share with you a podcast that inspires me, Kristin Chadwick's podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. So take a listen. Here's actually a full episode from one of her episodes on starting a podcast. Here's some insight from Kristin, a great taste of her show, but you got to go listen. All the information will be in the show notes. But here's Kristin on starting a podcast. You want to start a podcast? Kristin's here to show you the right way. Here's Kristin.
And now, on with the show.
Hey there, friends. Welcome back to Podcast Coaching for Kingdom Entrepreneurs. I'm Kristin Chadwick, your podcast coach, and today is Thursday, which means it's Q&A for Christian podcasters. Today, in less than 5 minutes, I'm going to answer your podcasting questions. And today, I'm going to answer, why should I start a podcast? And I'm going to give you 5 reasons why starting a podcast is going to be a game changer for your business. Number one, it's going to expand your reach and your engagement. Did you know that there are 464 million people globally that listen to podcasts? And this platform isn't just about sharing your voice. It's about building trust. It's about creating a community around your brand, around your leadership, your authority, your company, your ministry. Plus, 54% of listeners are more likely to consider buying from a brand that they hear on a podcast. So it's a great way to grow your audience and boost your engagement. Number two, establish yourself as an industry expert. So podcasts give you a chance to really share your expertise and your insights. I like to say it's for people to really get to know your flavor and the depth of knowledge that you have on a specific position and thought leadership in your field. So it's not just about selling products. It's actually about showcasing your knowledge and building trust and developing a relationship with your listeners. Number three, boost your SEO and online presence. So podcasting isn't just audio. It's a part of a larger content strategy that includes show notes. It includes blog posts. If you're doing website entries, it's could be a part of your social media platform content. It can be about YouTube. So when done right, this can boost your website's SEO and increase your visibility and driving more traffic into your business and your ministry. Almost said metership. Number four, it is cost-effective marketing. Podcasting is a budget-friendly way to market your business with basic equipment and a clear strategy. You can create content that offers real value without breaking your bank. It is a sustainable way to really market what you have to offer and how you can help serve people that you are called to serve. Number five, connect with a captive audience. Podcast listeners are engaged listeners. You have this gift of you are intimately inside of their ears during commutes, workouts, chores, multitasking, which means that they're giving you attention that in other ways media cannot. Without, I think it's over 80% of listeners stay tuned for most of all of their episodes that they are following. You have this unique opportunity to connect deeply and drive them towards your offerings. So there you have it. There's 5 reasons that you need to start a podcast today if you were on the fence. It's a powerful tool to grow your reach and establish your authority, boost your SEO, save on marketing costs, and connect with a dedicated and your tribe of people. So if you're ready to take the next step, I encourage you to reach out. Let's get started. I have lots of different ways that I can help you get started on your podcast, including a 10-part series that was done this past summer in 2023. So go back and check it out. It's called How to Start a Podcast series. So thanks for listening. And until next time, keep sharing your voice and step into your calling.
So I can hear you now already. You're like, Dave, come on. Another podcast about podcasting? Aren't you afraid that everyone's going to leave your show and go to Kristin's? Well, if that happened, that would be amazing because Kristin's a great human being. But I think that this just shows you that you can talk about similar topics without feeling threatened, without feeling like someone's going to steal your community. No, Kristin has an audience that I can't serve in the way that she's uniquely serving her audience. So she knows who she's talking to. She does it every time she comes to the mic, and she's a great human being. She really does care about her audience. And I think that as podcasters, we need to embrace the community, even when somebody talks about something that's similar to what we talk about. There's no reason to be threatened, everyone. It's a big, big space in podcasting. And I love what Kristin does. I want to shine a light on her and all of the people that she helps. Because the feedback that comes back to her from her community is she's on the right path. And I just want to share another podcast about podcasting that might open your ears or your eyes, or you might hear things on Kristin's show you'll never hear on my show because, again, Kristin is Kristin. So you're going to hear a completely different point of view, some different advice, and you need to pick what works for you. At the end of the day, I don't think there's one single voice in podcasting to teach you podcasting. I think we do this as a community together, And if this show's not your show, Kristin's show might be the exact show you've been looking for. And if this episode brings you to her and you find a home with Kristin, then that's a good thing. And I think we need more of that in podcasting. Don't be threatened. Share. There's so much to share. There's so many ways we can build each other up. So Kristin Chadwick's podcast, everyone, link in the show notes. If you want to learn podcasting from Kristin, please go check out her show. Let her know you heard about her here on the How to Podcast series. And I'm excited to know that Kristin's going to be coming on the podcast as well. Got an interview date set up for the two of us to get together and talk podcasting. Kind of nerd out on it. And I get to talk to her in person as a listener of her show. I'm so glad she's agreed to come on this show. And I just wanted you to know there's another great podcast about podcasting, Kristin Chadwick's podcast. You got to go check it out. It's a great show. Podcast coaching for Kingdom entrepreneurs. Links in the show notes. Thanks for listening. And Kristin, great job on your show. Everyone, go listen, go support, go share, and join the community. Thanks for listening. Happy November, everybody. Happy National Podcast Post Month. Let's go. So I love being a podcaster. I love meeting these great people. And I love the fact that you press play on this episode and that you're still here. That tells me that there's something here for you. And if you're like, Dave, I want to be part of this. I want to be part of this community and I want to spend some time with you. There's a link in the show notes. It's just for you. You and I can get together and chat about your podcast, answer any questions you have. And the most important thing is we get to meet each other. So if you feel like you've been podcasting alone, you should never podcast alone. You should podcast in a group. We have a community just for you. And I, Dave, would love to be part of your community. HowToPodcast.ca is where you can find me, find our amazing community, and meet the people you've met here today on this episode. So, what are you waiting for? Stop podcasting by yourself. Reach out. I would love to talk to you. Happy National Podcast Post Month. And we'll talk soon. Thank you for being part of the community, and thank you for listening to this episode. HowToPodcast.ca. Take care.